Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel at Talk Topic City. I'm Eric. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening. Um, and today's segment, I thought it'd be like really cool. I thought about this for a while, and I thought, hey, how about I talk about this? Today's segment is going to be about my favorite anime and video game characters. Many of us are gamers out there, and we all had characters from animes, from video games, from shows that we're drawn to, and that hey, like these characters I really like. I don't have a particular like order or ranking. I just made up a list of characters. I might do that later on, but I just want to give you guys, I guess, an inside scoop as to who I feel like my favorite characters are, why I'm drawn to them, and why I like them so much. Let's get started. And again, I don't have them in a particular order. So we're going to start on this list. The first character that I have is from Persona 5, and I'm not a big, Persona 5. I'm pretty much a novice when it comes to Persona. I don't know much about it. The first Persona that I saw and I watched was Persona 5, and I saw it on YouTube. I like to go on YouTube and like watch, uh, gamers who game on their channel and they play, games and they do commentary. And I saw Persona 5 and I'm like, oh, let me check that out. And I thought it was really cool. I love the characters, the concept, the backstories, everything about Persona 5 I liked. I never watched or played Persona. I never seen the other Persona. Persona 5 to me is special, and I'm just drawn to it. And I actually bought the anime of Persona 5 not too long ago, and I watched the whole thing, and I really like it. I know it's not the best, and it's kind of choppy, but yeah, Persona 5 is really cool. The first character that comes to mind to me is Joker from Persona. Um, and he goes by Rin, I believe. But I really love his character. I love his demeanor, his maturity, his style. He's calm. He's very athletic, agile. Not to mention his abilities to hold, and wield multiple personas is something else. And Joker, he's like the glue of the group of, there's Joker, there's Makoto, there's Ryuji, Morgana, um, On, Futaba, um, and the other guy named, um, I'm missing his name. I forgot his name. Um, Darn it. He's the guy with the artist guy. I forgot his name, but he holds them together and like, and more importantly, um, Joker is a lot more funnier than we think. He has these one-liners, and then like when you play as him as his character, when you're playing the video game, he's like, "I have something. Focus over here. Focus." I just think he's just really cool. His whole character, I just love the Joker from Persona 5. And then my next character that I really like is Sai Nijima from Persona 5 as well. And Sai, I really like. She's a like her character. She interrogates the Joker because she's trying to find out like, hey, what's going on with this change of heart? Like, how are these? How did you perform the change of heart? Like, what's the secret? She's very driven. She's really passionate. She's goal oriented. She has a lot of pride. She's very determined, and she's very beautiful. And she's the type that will be by your side no matter what. She is like cold at times and tough, on the outside. But like if you're with her and if like you're connected and she has like a bond with you, that's a person that you would want by your side no matter what. And in Persona, you can choose who you want to be with. It's a crime that you can't be with Sai Nijima because I would definitely pick her number one in my book. Out of all the options that you can choose, Sai Nijima will be my number one for sure. So yeah, I just love Sai Nijima, and she's great, and I love to have her by my side. And then you have another Persona 5 character, Makoto. Makoto is actually the younger sister of Sai Nijima. Sai Nijima, she works for the police. She's like an interrogator investigation group. I could be wrong about that, but I know that she like specializes in getting answers and making people confess their crimes by interrogating them. She's like an investigator as well. But Sai Nijima, she's a younger sister. I mean, Sai Nijima is the older sister of Makoto. Makoto is the younger sister, and they share the same qualities. Both of them are driven. They're very smart. Sai is like, I mean, sorry, I'm getting them mixed up. Makoto, she's very mature, and she's just a really fun and cool person to be around. She's excellent, and she also has desire to work for the police force one day because she wants to make a difference in people's lives, and she wants to serve the community. And you know, Makoto, I mean, she's the whole package. Not only that she has the looks, but she's also beautiful, inside and out, and she's very intelligent. So Makoto is another great character that I really enjoy. And then you have Futaba from Persona 5. I got a whole bunch of Persona 5 characters, right? Futaba, you know, she's adorable. She went through a lot in her life. Her mom in the game, you know, she committed suicide. So she lost her mother, and she was blamed for that. But it was revealed that it wasn't her fault. Her mother was, you know, there was a lot of things going on. She was being controlled. But long story short, I think Futaba is really cool. She's adorable. She's a gamer, which is awesome. She likes to joke around. She has a very bubbly personality. It's hard for her to open up, but once she opens up to you and that you're one of her friends, she's just a really cool person. She loves to joke. She loves to break the ice. She loves to, you know, make light of situations, but she's also serious, and she's very smart and intelligent as well. I think, Persona 5 character has their ways of being smart. I know a lot of people saying Ryuji is a bonehead, but I think Ryuji gets a bad rap. But moving on, my next character, Jin Kazama from Taiken. And what more can you say? Jin is, in my opinion, the GOAT of Taiken. I know there's a lot of Taiken fans out there, and many people have their main and their number one and who's their favorite. I love Jin. I grew up, you know, playing Taiken as a kid, and like many of us, we have a character in this series of Taiken games that we're drawn to, and Jin, to me, is no doubt number one. I mean, his skill, his story. He's not perfect. He's made a lot of mistakes, but, you know, in the latest game in Taiken 8, he's trying to, I guess, be on the road of redemption. He's trying to right his wrongs. And his story, you know, his family is cursed with the devil blood, with the devil gene, and his father, Kazuya, you know, he was treated bad as a kid as well by his father, Heihachi. So it's just from generation to generation. But I think the reason why Jin turned out the way that he did, yeah, because of the devil gene, but also because his father. I don't like Kazuya. I think he's a jerk. I mean, he's one of the best characters ever, and he's one of the strongest characters in the series of Taiken. And there's a lot of Kazuya fans out there, but I can't stand him. He was abused as a kid, but, you know, he refuses to change. He has no, you know, goodwill towards him. But they say he treat his employees very well because he owns, you know, the head of the Mishu Zubatsu. It's a corporation, and they say that he treat his employees very well. So I guess he has that going for him. But, you know, he's constantly trying to kill his own son. And I think that's just tells you the type of person he is already. He just refuses to be good. But yeah, I think that plays into Jin's like imperfectness and the decisions that he made to throw the world into chaos because he's spent his whole life, you know, his mother had disappeared. She's gone. He misses his mother, and the fact that his father and grandfather is trying to kill him all the time, that can mess with anyone's head. I mean, how wouldn't it? And, you know, Jin is just awesome. His fighting style, his, you know, his attire, everything about him is he's just number one. He's the best. So there you go. Jin Kazama is one of my favorite characters in Taiken, if not my favorite character. I also like his rival, which I'll get into in a minute. And then future Gohan. What more needs to be said? As you guys know, for many Dragon Ball Z fans, future Gohan is from the movie The History of Trunks. And in my opinion, it's the most saddest story timeline ever. As we all know, the Z Warriors are no more. Vegeta, Piccolo, Goku, Krillin, Yamcha, Tien. I mean, all of them were destroyed by the androids. And then we're left with Gohan and Trunks. And then you also have, Chi Chi, Master Roshi. But those are, the side characters. The warriors that are left are Gohan and Trunks. And Gohan was the only warrior left. Trunks was just a baby at the time. And eventually, they grow up. Gohan is fighting the androids by himself, a 13-year-long battle. And, many people will say the androids were just playing around with him because they wanted somebody there that they can play with. And Gohan was not strong enough to beat the androids, which probably he wasn't. But then as we saw in the movie, he had started to get the upper hand on Android 17, but then 18 interferes. I think if 18 doesn't interfere, I think Gohan might have a chance because Gohan's potential is just unreal. I know in the future timeline, future Gohan is, the weakest of all the versions of Gohan, but he's my favorite. He captured the hearts of many Dragon Ball Z fans throughout the world. He has a heart of gold. He made the ultimate sacrifice. He's a true Saiyan warrior. In my opinion, it's the saddest death in Dragon Ball Z history because it was just Gohan and Trunks looked at Gohan as like a father figure, as a mentor, his trainer, somebody he looked up to as a big brother, someone he cared for deeply because, Gohan's the only one he had left, and they both cared for each other. Gohan made the ultimate sacrifice because he knew that one day Trunks would not only be stronger than him, but will end the terror of the androids. So Gohan went to fight the androids alone. He knocked Trunks out. And, he gave a valiant effort. He gave the androids a run for their money. I know that they were saying, oh, well, the androids were, they were holding back. They weren't fighting at their full power, which is true. But the thing I always think about is that, okay, if Gohan is so weak, how did he manage to survive all these 13 years? And, Vegeta, he was a Super Saiyan at the time, and the androids destroyed him like he was nothing. Gohan was a Super Saiyan, and he still put up a better fight with one arm, and he was still giving them trouble. So future Gohan holds a special place in my heart, and he's my favorite Dragon Ball Z character behind, future Trunks, of course. Moving on. Lara Croft. I didn't really play too much of the Lara Croft games early on when they first came out, but then, when the reboot series came out in 2013, I started to play it, and I really enjoy it. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one, but Lara Croft is my video game crush besides Android 18. But, she's beautiful. I love the reboot 2013 look. That's my favorite version of her. I enjoyed playing the games. Lara Croft, she's resourceful. She's adventurous. She's brave. She has a lot of courage. And, she made a lot of mistakes as well. She put her friends in jeopardy. But, Lara Croft doesn't have fear. She overcomes her fears and she just keeps pushing forward. And she's a lot stronger than she looks. And, I think Lara Croft is really cool. So I had to add her to the list. And as I said, she's, one of my video game crushes. Batman. What more can you say? The Ultimate Detective. I highly recommend the Batman animated series. I know many of us have seen it, but for those who haven't seen it, I recommend that. He always has a plan, and when things doesn't work out in his favor, Batman makes adjustments. They don't call him the Ultimate Detective for nothing. His journey of becoming Batman, we all know the story. His parents were killed right in front of him, and at that moment, Bruce Wayne was still there, but then he started to grow the identity of becoming Batman. And it wasn't easy. He had to train himself. He had to learn, the minds of criminals. There's so many things that drove him into becoming Batman. The legacy that he left behind. And we all know the voice of Batman is no longer with us. That was a sad day, and he provided us with so many memories. Kevin O'Connor. thank you for making our childhood great. Thank you for providing us so many memories and moments as Batman. It was awesome, and it's something that we'll never forget, and it will last for years and years to come. But Batman is he's just fantastic. What more can you say? And then we have Batman Beyond, Terry McGinnis, also another Batman animated series. I just recently watched the whole Batman Beyond series, and I loved it. I didn't like the ending because it was just another episode. There wasn't no special send off, but I won't get into that. But the reason why I love Batman Beyond because it's really cool to see another Batman under Bruce Wayne's wing. Terry McGinnis. It wasn't easy because he had to gain Bruce's trust. They didn't start out very well. Terry had helped him fought off a bunch of Joker gang criminals, and he took them to the mansion. But then Terry had discovered the Batcave, but Bruce was really upset with that and kicked him out. But what drove them together was that Terry's father was murdered by criminals as well, and Terry went to go steal the Batman Beyond suit, and then Bruce was furious, but then he realized, Terry had said, I read about you, Mr. Wayne, and about, how your parents were taken from you, and this person is responsible for my father's death. This is my only chance, please. And that connected them together, and just to see them grow their relationship throughout the episodes, and Bruce's guidance, Bruce's experience, his tutelage, him passing it along to Terry is really great to see. Now, they always don't get along. They butt heads, but I think because they're alike, Terry is more like, he doesn't think at times. He usually just acts first, thinks later, but Terry's a lot more smarter than we think. He's not as smart as Bruce Wayne, but he is definitely more intelligent than he puts off. And seeing his growth as Batman is really great to see. So I really think that Terry McGinnis and Batman Beyond is an awesome character, and I had to add him to my list. And then we have Horong. I'm probably saying his name wrong. I apologize for that. From Taken. He's Jin's rival. And he's my second favorite character from Taken. I would pick Jin and Horong all the time. His fighting style, his kicks, his style. I think Horong has a lot of swag. His attire, the motorcycle, everything. And he's just, he's not so serious. He is serious with his rival with Jin, but he doesn't have the problems that Jin have, obviously. And I think Horong is kind of like a goofball at times, but in a good way. And I really like him. I think he's really cool. And they push each other, Jin and Horong. Jin always gets the upper hand on him, obviously, but Jin values him and he respects him and he sees him as a worthy opponent. And I think the respect is there between them. And I really like Horong, so he's another character that I really enjoy. And then we have Trunks, Future Trunks, as I mentioned about Future Gohan. The reason why I like Future Trunks is because he doesn't waste time. He has redemption, and obviously he comes from a harsh reality. With Trunks, the reason why he doesn't waste time because he lived through the heartache, he lived through the horror, he lived through the pain, he suffered loss. And the reason why I like that because, every character not every character, but mostly, Vegeta, Goku, and present Gohan to a fault, when they have the upper hand, they don't end it immediately. They let the fight drag on. I don't know if that's like when the power goes to their head, it's a Saiyan thing, but they have bad habits of doing that. But Trunks, he doesn't play that game because he's come from a timeline where there's death around him. If you're a bad person and he has the chance to end you, he's doing it. No games, no second chances, no playing around. He's not for that. He's going to end you, no questions asked, end of discussion. And that's what I like about Trunks because you can't play around when it comes to things like that. And obviously Trunks' style, his introduction to Dragon Ball Z, one of the greatest moments in Dragon Ball Z history, the jacket, the sword, everything about him was just awesome. So Trunks, he's great. And of course we have Goku from Dragon Ball Z. Obviously Goku is number one, the strongest. And Goku, he's an idiot at times, well, a lot of the times, but he's just a happy-go-lucky person. He loves to fight. He's a Saiyan, and he wasn't always good. He was meant to destroy the Earth, but then obviously, when he bumped his head, he lost his memory, and he became the Goku that we all know and love. And he loves food, like many of us do. And then he's a lot more funnier than people think he is. But then when it comes to battling, Goku gets serious. I don't like his portrayal in Dragon Ball Super because at least in Dragon Ball Z, Goku's a lot more serious. In Super, he's serious, but then there's a lot of moments that make you scratch your head. But of course, Goku. I mean, how can you not have Goku there? And obviously, the iconic Super Saiyan transformation in history against Frieza. I mean, that's unmatched. So, yeah, you have to have Goku there. And then you have Vegeta. Vegeta, his will, determination, pride to be the absolute best. And Vegeta, he made a lot of mistakes. He has a tragic story as well. Planet Vegeta with all the Saiyans was destroyed by Frieza. He was forced to do Frieza's bidding. Frieza had killed his father, and I think his upbringing made Vegeta the way that he is. Obviously, and he had no remorse. He was a block of ice. In many ways, I think Kazuya and Vegeta are different. I mean, are similar, but the biggest difference is Vegeta actually started to become good. It took a long time, but eventually, over time, Vegeta character development is incredible. He goes from a ruthless killer to not only to one of the defenders of Earth, but a family man. He has Bulma, Trunks, and his daughter, and he fights for them. And he also still has his pride intact. He still has the desire to be number one, but his whole demeanor and his whole development has just been incredible. And Vegeta's will and determination is unmatched. A lot of people don't have that. It's something that I don't think you can teach. It's something that you develop. And Vegeta, that's just in him. His motivation to be the absolute best, and it's incredible to see. So Vegeta had to be on my list. And Spider-Man. What more needs to be said? He's one of the most iconic characters of all time throughout the world. Everyone loves Spider-Man. I grew up watching the 90s animated series, and it was incredible. I think it's the best animated version of Spider-Man. The movies, obviously, of Spider-Man. And then cosplay. Spider-Man, I think, is one of the most coolest characters to cosplay as. I've done that myself. I cosplayed as Miles Morales version of Spider-Man, and I like all the I can't say I like all the versions of Spider-Man, but Spider-Man to me is one of the most iconic characters of all time. With great power comes great responsibility. So Spider-Man is definitely on my list. And then you have Kirito from Sword Art Online. I think Kirito, he gets a bad rap. He's kind of he's kind of cocky in a way, but obviously his skill, his determination, and he's very intelligent. He has great battle instincts, and obviously he's a ladies' man because they just fall at his lap and they're highly attracted to him. And a lot of guys wish they had that problem. But in all seriousness, I think Kirito is he's an interesting character. He's a complex character. I watched Sword Art Online season 1. I watched season 2. I didn't like season 3, but Kirito, he holds the group together, his friends, and he's very important to them. They all care about him, and Kirito, he cares about them too. He's not selfish. He makes a lot of mistakes, but I think Kirito, he's a complicated character, but I think he's also a great character as well. So I added him to my list. So that will do it for my list of characters. I do have more, but I'm going to end it right here. And we'll have part 2 coming up. And thank you for watching. And I'm Eric from Talk Topic City. Peace.